Hello, welcome to the Nerdgasm Channel Podcast. I'm Willie, aka Unofficial Ninja.
Derek, Nerdy Ninja.
Zach, Romeo 313.
Jules, Fade Alexander.
And today we'll be discussing E3. Why is Jules always drinking the Nintendo Kool-Aid, which was suggested to us by Devin, our Facebook follower. New trailers, like Supergirl in June. Crowdsourcing for prominent developers. New Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5, and new Archie comics. So let's go ahead and get started.
We should also say that, hey, if you're watching us on Twitch, please, we're watching, definitely add your own questions. I'm sure we'll get to those as well.
Sure.
So, Willie, what we got? E3, right?
Yep.
So, I think we should take it over to Jules, who's the big like developer conference kind of, main man. He knows all about what's going on.
Sometimes.
Sometimes I do. What's going on with E3?
Honestly, I don't really know what's going on with E3. But what big news is what Nintendo... Oh, wait. Are we talking about Nintendo?
Oh, shit.
Wait, I think we are.
That's a sub thing we're talking about.
Ding!
We're talking about Nintendo a lot, I guess,
today.
today.
Because Nintendo's the only fucking amazing thing out there. So that's all the way it is. Yes, I said a curse word. That's because I'm serious about this stuff.
I'm surprised you can talk with that Nintendo dick in your mouth.
It tastes good, too. It tastes like candy.
It gave me a 1-up.
They can argue all day long. I'm just going to be like, Nintendo, what have you done for me?
I like Nintendo.
For me lately.
Nintendo's awesome. And we do talk about them all the time because they're the only one that's really making anything that's innovative right now. And now, for them, innovative is sometimes going back and reaching back into the closet and bringing something back out and making you froth at the mouth for it again. Which in this case, at E3...
Is that really innovation, or is that just pumping, give what Jalen Rose would say, giving the people what they want?
True. Okay, so it may not be as innovative as we'd like. They are typically innovative when it comes to their systems and their systems and their games and so forth.
Interface.
Right, their interface, like their 3DS, obviously. They just repackaged it and gave you a brand new camera, but it's amazing. I haven't put mine down since I got it, right?
Likewise.
Well, yeah, actually, as some of our viewers would know, they added an extra jolly stick.
Which I have yet to experience what it does.
I use it and I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, but you have a game that has it, right?
Yeah, well, it works. Well, yeah, I guess all the games, it works with it. Yeah.
No, not really, because my Animal Crossing, it doesn't work with my Animal Crossing.
Well, yeah, you don't need it.
Resident Evil, the Resident Evil for the 3DS. Revelations, yeah, it works great for that too.
Really?
Because before, you had that little connector, the extra stick that you had to buy that extra piece for it. And now this actually takes the place of that. Does a pretty good job too. Yeah.
So, cause I know Xenoblade Chronicles, right, is one of the ones that uses the stick. And then Monster Hunter uses the stick. And I bought a couple of new games since then, and none of mine use the stick. But regardless, that wasn't what I'm talking about.
I think the option was put in for those games that, especially for developers, that will be able to utilize it if they need it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really all it comes down to. If you don't need it, you don't need it. If you need it, it's kind of important to have it.
Like
better to have it, not need it, not have it.
Yeah.
But you can play without it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess. I don't know. I don't have a game that plays with it.
I'm pretty sure you
can.
But E3, they brought back the Nintendo World Champions.
What?
So
the World Champions that, I get World Championships kind of like mixed in with the whole Wizard movie, where like they play Super Mario 3, which is not the case. Nintendo World Championship was a tournament where you played a certain amount of Rad Racer, Super Mario Brothers, and Tetris.
Really?
Like very short amounts of times, and like
it's like a speed run.
You basically are trying to get the most points. The most points won you basically the championship, which was
what did you get?
Which was a gold Nintendo World Championship card. I don't exactly remember what else you got. I'm sure.
And the winner, I remember the one piece.
They got something.
They got the actual game that they played.
No, there's multiple of those.
Yeah, but the winner was actually.
Well, no. The great ones went out to like all the semifinalists, like the ones like the gold carts were only literally, and I was wrong on that. Gold carts only went out on a mail order thing. That got you sent in, and if you got the gold card, it was just mailed to you. Very rare. These games right now go for an obscene amount. You can get a car, not a nice car, a sedan, for one of these if you could get one. Like, so at the very least, I don't exactly remember what I'm sure it was Money, the Grand Championship one, and he's been at some RGS things before.
It's really cool. So
but it's cool they brought it back.
This is the fact that they brought it back. You know, they retired it a long time ago. I think the last console they had, wasn't it 8-bit? Was the last time they had it? They didn't have one on the Super NES.
They had like a spring break challenge thing. This wasn't as cool. Honestly, like the Nintendo era, like 8-bit was kind of like the heyday. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, I wanted to go to the, I mean, I obviously
I thought it was like the Wizard movie, so of course I wanted to go.
You didn't get to play like Super Mario Brothers 3
with your power glove.
You know, I've never even heard of it. Like, this is the first time I've
This is a pretty big deal in like the retro gamers, you know, world.
Yeah, because
like,
you know, if you
grew
can
up
get a
with it and
cartridge,
knew about it, like that's pretty awesome.
Your kids are going to college, right? So,
well, I mean, 20, 30 years later, maybe.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool for the E3 front. That's really the only thing I paid attention to. But E3, obviously, what is it, June 16th through the 18th?
Yes,
so it's the weekend or something like that in June. And I think E3 has always been one of my things that I've always wanted to go to. And I've got some great friends that always get to go every year, and they always send me stuff back. Thanks, Alexander. Send a shout out to you.
Honestly have had chances to go, just scheduling time.
Yeah, I have had a few times chances to go different companies that I've worked for in the past and presently. They always get the passes, but sometimes you have to flip your own bill to get out there. And then if they do flip it for you, then you've already got a scheduling conflict somewhere else. So I haven't actually had a chance to it's always been some kind of end means on my own part, but one of these days maybe. I made it to San Diego Comic-Con, so E3 is next on the bucket list. So
there you go.
And I think one of the great things about E3 is one, if you do too much about it, you wouldn't watch it, or at least I wouldn't. I know it's going to be announced.
Yeah.
You kind of like catch the recap, but the excitement of E3 is getting the unknown.
And I forgot. A couple of years ago, they closed it for public. It was only for vendors anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So,
that's true.
So yeah.
In fact, like
I think this is the second year they've opened it back up for public.
In fact, the last one that I can remember, and I'm sure I'm wrong on this, was when like Halo 2 was announced. But before that, like honestly, like anybody could have gone. You had to pay for it. Mm-hmm. But now, like it's usually like video game companies, like GameStop employees and stuff like that. Like they'll get first run on these tickets. You can't just buy them. But at the very least, what was cool about E3, like I was saying, was it was that opportunity to see what was new. Because I caught it through G4. I mean, obviously G4's not around.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. So that was kind of that cool thing. That's right. That was one of those cool things to be able to watch and like get surprised for once, because in this digital age, it's almost
impossible to keep a secret.
I know. And when it does happen, it's just so rare that it becomes a viral thing. And like, can you imagine all of E3 being viral? I mean, it's just impossible. But so now it's pretty neat. So now my question for you guys is like, you don't really know what's going to be announced. I really don't.
So wait a minute. Nintendo World Championship.
Yeah.
Is that going to happen at E3 or is that happening at Best Buys?
I think it's both.
The regional
heats. It's both.
So the regional heats are going to happen at Best Buy on the 30th of May?
Yeah, beforehand.
At selected Best Buy stores?
I mean, but let's be completely honest here, and this is not a deterrent for you. Go out and try it out. I mean, it's going to be fun. For me personally, man, I'm not that good anymore.
I'm still going to go try. They might have some cool T-shirts or something.
That's true.
Just to be a part of
the
experience.
I remember back in the day, I got to play Sonic the Hedgehog before anybody else, and the deal was just you passed the first level, and if you had the most points, you would move on to the next tier, and I eventually made it, I think, enough to get like a Sega like cup, and I was just like, no. I mean, I was a little kid. I mean, this was back when Nintendo ruled everything, and I was like, and I played like literally Sonic, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, Sonic was.
Look at those graphics.
Sonic was
the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Yeah, so
and the music.
Like, yeah. Oh, the music was great.
I know, it's still caught in my head.
But anyways, yeah. So E3 is kind of like I kind of want it to be a surprise nowadays in my advanced age. I just don't.
I'm always excited about E3. I'm disappointed, like you said, that we don't have a direct source for the information now. Like G4, they shut down, and that's all. When E3 happened, that's all they showed was E3.
Yeah, it was
24-hour loop
on the floor. Tulsa's only. Oklahoma's. I'm gonna say Oklahoma, not
Olivia
Tulsa.
Munn.
Olivia Munn. She's been to plenty of these.
Yep. Lucky girl. She's also going to be Psylocke in the new X-Men movie. But
right on.
So I'm pretty excited about E3. I don't know what it holds. I don't know what they're going to talk about. We do know that Nintendo is not going to announce anything on their.
Well, this is a big deal because Nintendo opted out of E3 for years.
Yeah.
So they're
and they did their own little thing, and their own little thing did really well for them, I think. But now they're back at E3, and I think they're going to come back pretty explosive. You know, they're not releasing anything about their next system, the next system, and they're not releasing anything about their DNA partnership. So that's off the table. Not going to hear anything about that.
And they already gave a little more information. They have 5 or 7 games planned. Okay, 5 games planned by the year 2007 or 17 for their mobile device or mobile service.
Oh, this is Reggie.
Or whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Reggie's keeping it to the vest until he comes out and goes.
And they plan to have their first one done by the end of 2015.
Yeah.
I love the fact that the head developer and head producer for their whatever this mobile DNA partnership they're going to have with is, and I can't pronounce his name, so I'm forgive me for not saying it. I'm not reading it. I'm just, but
no.
the creator of Mario Kart, producer of Mario Kart and the new one. And
oh no, do we?
And Luigi's Mansion and so forth. And I can't say his name, so I'm not even gonna try. But
you can continue, Julius.
Yeah, we're still being filmed, so
yeah.
But
we just need to read.
I think that's gonna be awesome because he makes quality games. Everything he touches turns to gold. Mario Kart 8, phenomenal. Probably one of the best games this year, in my personal opinion. So everything he touches. Would you
say was the best of this year, though?
I would.
He said one of the best.
I would. Yeah, I would definitely say one of the best games of this year. And my personal, and holding it, and for me, it is the best game of this year. I have spent the most hours on this game of all games that I have. So I personally think it's the best game of the year. But that's just me. And then also with the downloadable content, it actually had true fashion, awesome, expanding the game in a different realm, downloadable content. This wasn't extra armor. This wasn't extra weapons and so forth. This was new characters, new stages, jam-packed, new vehicles, new everything, jam-packed for $12. In my case, I think I spent $9 on it because I got a discount.
And a new mode. Well,
and,
did that count?
And it wasn't part of the DLC, but it came with it.
Yeah.
So, they're just making that game better.
Yeah.
A lot of people are screaming for battle mode, battle mode, battle mode. Sorry, guys, battle mode's not happening. Play the one you got. But look at what else you got with this game. So I personally think it's the best game of the year, but that's just me.
I thought they had battle mode in the...
It does have battle mode, but people wanted that traditional battle mode like they had on SNES
and
N64.
Yeah, I wonder why. Yeah,
it was completely different. It was a racing battle mode this time around, so they completely
these last battle modes that they've had have just been But Julius? I guess this kind of ties into that last one too. Mm-hmm. Why is Jules always drinking the Nintendo Kool-Aid? Devin's been really wanting you to explain because he's like, it just seems like Nintendo could beat your mom up or something and you'd be cool with it.
Yeah, bad analogy, but
that's
the one thing they probably couldn't do. I really am a Nintendo fanboy. I truly am. Nintendo is probably one of my favorite things. They are nostalgia reasons. First of all, I grew up in the Nintendo era, right? So Nintendo was not the first game system I had. I've had every one of them except for a Nintendo 3DO. Panasonic 3DO.
What did you have before NES?
Atari and ColecoVision.
Well, look at you,
right?
Money bags.
Whatever. My dad liked Kangaroo, so he played Kangaroo on Atari 5200. But anyway, so
what the heck is Kangaroo?
Yeah, look it up. It's a great game. We can play it sometime. I have it at home. But so I grew up in the Nintendo era. That's when I really got games, and it was pretty awesome.
It was your console.
It was my first console, yeah.
But I mean, you said your dad liked to play. That was probably the console that was for you, and you adopted it. You enjoyed it. I mean, I think most people, at least in our age demographic, that was their first.
Yeah, especially the first one that you could actually remember having, right? So
Twitch is down. I think
Twitch
is having issues.
So restart the whole PS3, PS4.
If you want to, you can.
I think he means the server. Twitch's server is actually down.
It's cool. It's cool. We can start back up. They're lost without us. We're still being filmed here.
So, for me, and since Devin asked the question, I'll give Devin his answer. I'm an only child, right? Didn't have any brothers or sisters. So my parents pretty much did whatever it does to keep me entertained, right? So they gave me a Nintendo hoping that I would leave them alone. And that's pretty much what happened. So they gave me a Nintendo in an upstairs living room, and I said, bye, see ya. Don't need to talk to you anymore.
Sweet.
So I just played Nintendo games. And then growing up in the pawn shop industry, at the height of Nintendo, people were coming in bringing games. So I had an influx of games all the time. So I played everything, you know?
That is nice.
And
Blockbuster was my source of games. We didn't own any, but Blockbuster supplied us.
So that's just kind of what it was. So I grew up with Nintendo. I was always playing Nintendo. I always had an available source of Nintendo. And then Super Nintendo came out and was just that better. And with every iteration of the Nintendo platform, Game Boy came out. I actually had my Game Boy up until 2001, my original Game Boy that I got in 1989 or whenever I got it. And so I've always had every iteration of a Nintendo platform in any way, shape, or form. So,
you know, the only one I skipped out on was the 64.
I have my 64.
I mean, I have one now.
Yeah, I have my original one that I got for Christmas from my stepdad underneath the Christmas tree. I still have the box and everything with it. I literally love Nintendo. There's no way to say it besides that. Like I have the PlayStations and the Xboxes, and they're cool and all. But when it comes back to it, I like to play games that are fun, that are pleasing to the eyes, that don't take a lot of brain power sometimes. I'm not having to worry about killing everybody all the time. And for me, that's a Mario game. For me, that's a Mario Kart. I like that feeling of nostalgia. I like that my mom can look and go, oh, that's Mario. She knows nothing about video games, but she knows that because I've played them for so long. So I've always liked Nintendo. They hold a near and dear place in my heart. So if anything ever happens to them, it's going to be pretty bad. But
I guess when you put it that way, I mean, Nintendo was that's what broke me into gaming, you know, and I've had every Nintendo console since. In fact, N64 is what got me into first-person shooters. I was like, those are the dumbest games on the planet, but GoldenEye changed my life.
GoldenEye was amazing, and then when they came with Perfect Dark, Perfect Dark was good. It wasn't
Maybe
GoldenEye.
Even Turok got you in there.
Turok was okay.
Turok was awesome playing as the Velociraptor. That was the best. I missed that.
You know, I loved it. GameCube was amazing. You know, GameCube was kind of...
That was an underrated console.
It was an underrated console for what it was, but... And why do you think GameCube didn't do quite as well as it could have?
Me?
Yeah, anybody. I'm just throwing it out there.
Honestly, because it was a good system. It had to be part of marketing or something too, or price.
It's because they didn't pump out as many like amazing titles. Like here's my deal. So towards the end of the lifespan of the GameCube, they came out with the definitive game, and they got it first. People that are like, oh, I love Resident Evil 4.
Oh my god!
They played it on the PS2, and you're like, you didn't really play it the best way.
Yeah.
The first way that you could play it, people beat that game way before it came out on any other console.
Mm-hmm.
That game gave me my bro crush on Leon S. Kennedy. He was awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
And it got chastised a lot for being kind of the kiddie console that didn't have these mature rated games.
See, and that's
but you had Eternal Darkness.
Yeah, and that's where they left their, and that's where, if you notice, that's what I say.
Still an obscure game though.
No. That's where I say they left their formula. That's why I think the GameCube didn't do quite as well as it should have. First and foremost, you can always say that the box answer is they didn't have third-party development. They've never really had third-party development.
Correct.
Nintendo never has had to have it.
Well, no, they had it obviously with a Nintendo.
Oh, well, yeah, because they were exclusive. That would be exclusive, right?
They
were the only system.
What they did was they realized what they had. I mean, Nintendo, like, people want to discredit them, but they still kind of know what they're doing. Even if they take losses, they still know what they're doing.
Yeah. They would have been around for decades. You know, they know what they're doing for a little bit anyway. But I think the third-party development piece hurt them when you had something like PlayStation that was getting things from everywhere.
Everyone, yeah.
You know, and then they tried to go into a realm of gaming that they were unfamiliar with. And that was the mature,
easy girl.
That was that mature gaming platform. They went in with the Eternal Darkness, which was an amazing.
And
game.
they did get killed on that.
Yeah, and they just that was going away from their safe zone, right?
No, what I mean by they were getting killed by not having more mature rated games.
No, but that's the point. Is the marketplace was changing where Sony and now Microsoft at the tail end were making these mature rated games where people were like, that's what I want to play, because the gamers were getting older, right?
Sure.
The core gamer that grew up with Nintendo was getting older. Nintendo was in that, they had that squeaky clean image, and then when they went with the GameCube, they tried to adopt those Turoks and those extra games that were a lot more mature, outside of their realm of control.
But towards the end.
In the beginning,
Also,
too. Some of their launch titles were rated M, which is not a typical Nintendo fashion at all.
I don't know if this affected y'all or not, but like, since they had the really small disc, I think that put off some people too. I know when I
well, it did because the PS2 basically and the Xbox were DVD players.
That was
so they sold so many consoles based solely on the fact
home entertainment system.
Yeah. Now, keep in mind, me and Julius, we worked in video rental places at the time of the PS2 launch. So, like, the easy sale for a salesperson, not in our area, but like in retail, was like, hey, why don't you buy this? You get to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Yeah, you get a good DVD player, and the PS2's DVD player was solid.
Yeah, it was.
It was actually my first DVD player, I think about it. Like, this is back when DVD players were expensive.
Yeah.
Okay, because the PlayStation 1 only played CD.
Correct.
CDs.
Okay, correct. Right.
Now, granted, you could play CDs and hit select and see all the little flashing lights.
Yeah, that was actually
if you were a druggie, perfect. But no,
like
the PS2 sold so many consoles, not only as a game system, but as a DVD player.
Which was also the double-edged sword for the PlayStation 2, because that also hurt the
I was going to say, I remember it hurting it.
Which originally, when the GameCube came out, it was codenamed the Dolphin, and it was supposed to. But I think they looked at cost.
Yeah, and you take things away when you want to make it a cheaper console, right? And then again, they bounced back with their marketing towards the end of the life of the GameCube, where they slashed the price at Christmas time, which was amazing, making it $120, where the other 2 systems were $199 to $299.
I got it $100.
And it was just, then they flew off the shelves, right? But I think that's kind of why third-party development, obviously the lack of the DVD player, and the going into a realm of games that they really truly didn't have a good grasp upon. Which I think they kind of changed when they came with the Wii, and they went back to where their roots, going for a completely different marketplace. Like, understanding that we can't have this core gamer. This core gamer we don't understand. We can't relate to you anymore. You've grown outside of us, right? And then they went over and said, you know what? Let's come back. Let's find a different niche market for us that no one else has tapped. And that was the families and the older gamer. The older gamer, like the middle-aged to older person with the Wii.
The one that didn't grow up with a Nintendo product at all.
Yeah. That had the kids that grew up with the Nintendo product, right? They were the parents that were now grandparents.
That
possibly.
basically probably swore up. My parents to this day have never played a Nintendo game, a Sega game, anything up until the Wii. When it was like, they were like, like literally when my parents were like, we just love Wii bowling. Like,
I do.
That's adorable. Do you remember when I used to play Nintendo all the time and try to get you into it, and you were like, that's a waste of time. Go clean something.
Shouldn't you be outside?
Exactly.
Mine were different. Like sorry.
Go ahead. What did you say?
Like I think our first console was the NES, and I remember my dad playing that, and like my family members and stuff. And then like I've always been a weird kid, like so I would play it with the controller upside down and do well in it, and they kept forcing me to flip it back around and stuff. So, but yeah, I did that. Ninja Gaiden that's how I played it.
Love that
the controller upside down. But like
so you're telling me your parents just didn't want you to have fun? So if you're having fun away, they want you to change it?
Boy, you playing that game wrong.
Yeah. Like, how do you know it's wrong?
Like, I don't know if you saw my Facebook post earlier, but yeah, it used to be ambidextrous too. And they forced ambidextrous. You know what I'm saying?
You could do both.
Yeah, both hands.
I'm messing with you.
And I think it was my grandma who told my parents that it's not necessarily normal that one will suffer. What did you say?
Put the cross on him.
Like
you can use both hands to do things.
Like it's not like normal, like in the sense that if I do both, like one will suffer, kind of thing. And so they started forcing me to use only one over the other, which I think is how I developed the OCD, where I had to do things with both sides of my body, like. To maintain balance. I think it kind of spurred for something like that. But anyway, we're talking about the gaming console. And so, like, when we got, like, a Genesis, or, Sega Genesis.
Play that one upside down.
Well, they already trained me on that. And, my dad and stuff would play Mortal Kombat with us, and he would have Baraka and destroy us with that little, like, knife thing, and you're like, Dad, how you doing? And he's like, I ain't telling you.
So that's different. So you actually played the games with your father.
Yeah.
So he probably had a little bit more of a obviously he had more of an adult-oriented style of gameplay or interest in gameplay. So you were probably playing teen-rated games.
Yeah, probably so. I matured young, so yeah.
Oh God, my mom saw us playing Mortal Kombat once, and she's never been one to curse. And she was like, "What the hell is that?" And that game went right back.
It's kind of funny because like my parents just didn't care. Like I could watch R-rated movies. I could watch R-rated movies with a stipulation. Now, if I was by myself, they wouldn't know. But if I was watching an R-rated movie with them, if there was a sex scene, cover your eyes, Zach.
Yep.
But the violence, they just let me watch some really horrendous shit back in the 80s. But back to the video games, the moment I started playing something, they were literally like, I'm out, yo.
Yeah.
So, like, I played the Mortal Kombats, and, like, you know, I mean, obviously, I think I came to be a pretty, you know, normal.
Yeah. Okay.
Normal adult.
Sorry, buddy.
I think
Next subject.
I think the difference is like today, like it's very graphic to the point where like obviously graphics have evolved. Like I watched elders react to the fatalities on Mortal Kombat, and they were just like, oh my god. And I can kind of see that though.
That's
if you never do it,
if you think games are Mario Kart, and then somebody shows you Mortal Kombat, like you're gonna go, what the hell is that shit?
Like the fatalities now. Like I even watched a few that I was just like, okay, we're getting to that point. We're getting to that point now where it's that thin slice between fake and real.
Uncanny Valley.
To where the next step is going to be pretty much photoreal, to the point where we either as a society we just get completely like
sensitized.
To the violence, to the point where like I think the worst. What was the worst Mortal Kombat fatality? I think the one where Johnny Cage just slams that dude's face until it was basically just like literally bone and like skeleton and flesh and stuff. That one was pretty gruesome. Where I was like,
Ermax is pretty bad too, where he contorts your body and then pulls your intestines out of your mouth.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. So I think developers are going to have to keep it in that realm of cartoony violence. It's
I don't think they do that. I don't think they do that anymore. I think they can't. The games. The point of games now is to make them more realistic.
But their character models,
they look
to
still
make
cartoony.
like, and I think they do that for because we had this discussion. Like, it looks too cartoony. I was like, they do that. I think because if they had it actually like look exactly like a human, which they can do that, like texture.
Well, look what they did with Ellen Page.
Yeah, then like people will probably be upset with it with how graphic they are.
I get that.
It's like that's what I was talking about. That
just kind of like putting like green blood versus
it's that
red
thin sliver.
And they don't want to go too far. I was reading in the latest Game Informer, I believe, from the Mortal Kombat developers, and everyone together and everyone contributes to it. You know, they toss ideas. And
how would you like to be a fly in the wall?
It'd be fantastic.
You probably walk out and go, "You all are sick. I'm going to. I am skipping lunch. I can't eat now because
this is what they came up with. So what did they throw out?
I'd be like,
it was too bad.
Because they said all of mine. I'll be the one that's like, Willie, you need to go to the court.
Oh, I can totally see that. I can see you being there. You know, you're like a chief, texturist or something like that. Throwing your ideas in there, and people are just like.
Like, I just have one real quick. Wouldn't it be like cool for like someone who's powerful, like maybe Goro or something? Like he reaches back and pulls out just another body and like basically shoves it into another. And so like it basically makes.
You make a turducken?
Yeah, it's like the guy's skeleton comes out, and then now inside of him is like another body. Like that's the fatality. That would be awesome. Like that.
Hey, Midway, you heard it here first. If you use that, please credit this dude.
It could be called "In My Skin."
They don't have to call it anything.
All of them are called something.
Oh, that's true.
Oh hell no!
Get in my body.
Oh my god!
You guys are something wrong with you.
Devin and I, when we were playing,
we'll call it the St. Bartholomew of the skin your ass.
Like whenever Devin and I were playing, he was like, we were watching him. He's like, man, that was kind of tame. And I was like, it was. And like we're like, we've been really desensitized to violence because we're like, there's only like one of these that's actually extreme. The rest are just we're bored with. And I was like, that's kind of scary.
Glad I'm not broken like you guys. Jeez.
All right, anyone else have anything to add to that before we go to the next?
think we move on. I think, wait, are you done explaining? So, like,
I love Nintendo.
The viewers can, like, no, say it one more time. Like, the viewers need to know, like, passionate.
Yeah.
Nintendo fanboy.
Yep.
Don't you be talking bad about Nintendo.
Yeah, because Nintendo will come back and smack your bitch ass.
And
they do.
I think for most gamers our age, though, Nintendo is what ushered them into gaming, period.
Very much could be.
They may not like it now, but Nintendo is what kind of gave them their wings.
It's what gave you your RPGs, all you RPG people out there.
Woo woo!
All you Final Fantasy likers out there, you got it from Nintendo.
Indeed.
Sony may have taken it in a whole other direction, made it a little bit better, but you got it from Nintendo. You got it from your mama. Your mama's Nintendo.
Alright, so next topic is new trailers, which so far the only ones I remember are Supergirl and Jim and the
Holograms.
Yeah. Were there any other ones? New trailers that's been out?
Supergirl?
That was the first one I said.
So,
yes. You haven't
I didn't
seen
see Supergirl.
I meant that on purpose. Supergirl? Jim. Let's talk about Jim first. No, hold on a second. So
yeah, you high?
So I was never a fan of Jim. Like, that was not, obviously in the 80s, that was not my demographic as far as TV shows to watch. So when it came on, blah, blah, blah. But I do respect the fact that it did come out in the 80s, and I've seen a couple episodes and stuff like that. I get the premise of it. And I thought, you know what? They're ballsy enough to actually make a Jim, like, movie.
Do you remember the premise of it, though, really?
Yeah, Jim and the Holograms. Like,
that's the title.
Yeah, the premise is the title.
They were
Jim and the
rock
Holograms.
stars.
They were rock stars, but weren't they, like, superheroes?
I've never
You
seen
would know
it.
this better than anybody. Tell
I've
me
never
the
seen
premise.
it. I didn't even hear about it until you.
So, like, Jim and the Holograms, obviously it was they were a rock group.
Yeah.
And they were recruited by a super awesome record label that was actually like a spy organization. And,
really?
It's Showtime Synergy, and then she become Jim, and then she da-da-da-da-da-da, right? And then she go fight the crimes, and her arch nemesis were the Misfits. You know, the Misfits was another rock group that were not as good, but I personally liked them better because they were cooler. Their theme song was "We Are the Misfits. Our songs are better. We are the Misfits. The Misfits. So we're gonna get you." You know, so it was a great cartoon, and I loved it. I loved it growing up. I loved Jim and the Hologram. She was so much cooler than Barbie and the Rockers.
How did you not go through your He-Man Woman Hater Club phase, where you're just like, man, this is not the kind of shit that I want to watch as a little boy?
I loved She-Ra. I loved He-Man. I loved Jim and the Holograms. The only one I didn't like was Barbie and the Rockers, because Barbie and the Rockers was stupid.
That was a show?
Oh gosh, were you guys born in the 80s?
Love He-Man into that.
86.
Those are all. They were all done by the same group. Hanna-Barbera did all of them, right? You know.
Yeah,
So
I honestly didn't know.
well, maybe Hanna-Barbera.
But I did know that they were making a movie.
Yeah.
And so of course I'm gonna watch the trailer, and I'm gonna go, wow, that's some fucking.
It's Pitch Perfect, basically.
Oh,
No, it's not even that, because Pitch Perfect is more like harder than this trailer. This looks like fucking mean and angry. And
I actually liked the trailer. You know, had they called it anything else besides Jim and the Holograms, I would have probably been like, I'm gonna go see that movie because I love music. Obviously, I love music. I didn't like the fact that they gave it to Jim and the Holograms, and they are very much. They look just like the cartoon. Like, they look like the characters in the cartoon. They have the makeup style like the characters in the cartoon. The actual story is pretty close to the premise of the cartoon, except for the superhero part where Showtime. She even says in the trailer it's Showtime Synergy and grabs her ear and rubs it, and that's when she would normally change into Jim, right?
you know they can't add that shit
So
in there
she has
because
like
this is some
superpower?
Scott Pilgrim shit.
You know, and it's been so long since and I wanted to actually go back and watch the first couple of episodes because they're on Hulu before we had the podcast. And just to refresh, or it was on Hulu about 4 weeks ago or so. I wanted to refresh before the podcast just because I knew we were going to talk about it, but I didn't get a chance to with time constraints. Because I remember her battling, but also my 80s cartoons run together sometimes. So I could be completely off, and that could be another cartoon that was similar to Jim and the Hologram. But I know when she did Showtime Synergy, she changed into Jim. And I loved it. It was it was cool. I watched the trailer. I actually said, you know what, this would be a good movie if it was not called Jim and the Holograms.
It's like
whoa, wait.
It's like
when you see that iconic like face painting,
the 80s,
like makeup and stuff like that. You kind of have to go with that. And my only issue with it was one, I didn't watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't. I mean, I knew about it. I mean, I know they're totally outrageous, but beyond that, that wasn't really my cup of tea. But I would totally go see I'll still go see the movie just because I'm curious. But I don't think it's gonna follow like the.
It won't. It can't. Right? It's not even like an action sci-fi movie. But I think it's gonna be a neat little kind of character study on.
Man, had I known this, I should have been watching this shit when I was a kid.
I just
like. The girls were fucking spies and shit. I'm like, I thought they just played music and
Pitch Perfect,
drank milkshakes on the weekend.
Well, it's a dramatic version of that.
Yeah, it's like one of those drama singing.
It's like a character study of what happens when the fame is too much, and you go Kanye on everybody.
So it's like
you start to push your friends away. That
I'm gonna let you finish, but yes. Bring it up there.
But like, if you like that type of movie,
I think it'll be good.
Then I think you'll like this.
I personally think it'll be good.
I haven't even seen like the other type. I don't watch those really that. They don't really.
My bad. Sorry.
They don't really tickle my fancy, I guess. Okay. And so I won't be watching it. But all right. And you said that you haven't seen.
I didn't get a chance to watch Supergirl, so.
Well.
But I love the original, so. We'll see.
Oh, let's see. Zach?
Okay, so, all right, as the Superman fan that I am, and like, when I talk about soups, I talk about the fact that I'm a Superman fan.
On purpose?
I was trying to show you something.
He's hitting me.
I'm a Superman fan based on a couple of things. One, Superman was just he fought for truth, justice, the American way, of course, all that stuff.
America!
But at the same time, like he was your big blue Boy Scout.
He's your bitch.
And so like growing up, that was kind of like a really sense of like moral. I just kind of wait like you should probably live your life on some level. Now let's flash forward. We all know, even as an adult now, that he's hard to write for. He's not the most interesting person. Obviously, he's basically a god, so it's kind of like, how do you kill a god? How do you mess with a god? So it's all psychological.
So he's Kanye.
No, but I still love Supes for what it is. So when I said that I'm conflicted by Supergirl, which is basically the same thing, just his cousin, my deal is like, you have the movie, it comes out, you have Supergirl, that's basically the same story, essentially, other than being a cousin, and it kind of turned into, and I used to make fun of, are we off Twitch?
No.
Oh. So, like, I always used to make fun of, like, Smallville before I watched it, and used to call it Clark's Creek, and I was
that's actually kind of catchy.
because, like,
the show's really good, though.
Like, on the CW, like, Dawson's Creek was really big still, and it seemed kind of melodramatic and, freak of the week type of thing that. So like with Supergirl, I kind of watched the trailer and I was like, it's not trying to appeal to necessarily comic book fans. It's trying to appeal to girls that like, I would say teen comedies or like, just like young adult.
I'm trying to think what's example, like with her basically starting off at that, I don't even know what kind of office it was.
It's probably like a magazine.
Yeah.
Probably a magazine.
Yeah. And
not Daily Planet, but it's like an L.
And she's
or
giving,
a Cosmo.
Yeah, and she's giving them
it's what it seems like. I don't know.
Coffee and things like that. And she's like the girl who's like, the assistant who's like, I don't know if I like this job. I'm just doing
Betty.
Something like that. But she's like not ugly.
Yeah.
And like goes home and talks to her sister. She's like, I have a date tonight. I need you to help me. And the sister's like, I'll help you get ready. Like that is how it starts. It's like 3 minutes of the trailer is basically her just delivering coffee to her boss or whatever,
and then talking to her
sister about her date
what she can
stuff
do.
like that.
But we had date and what she can do. It's like, I'm not normal. I can lift a bus and stuff like that.
And what shows, then it goes to her sisters on the plane that's starting to crash, and so then she has to use her powers to keep the plane from crashing, and everybody sees it, and so she comes forward basically after.
So is she blonde or brunette?
Blonde, dude. Kara's always a blonde.
I know that, but I was wondering, did they change it for the show?
No, it's blonde.
pretty fun.
And it's like she tells one of her coworkers stuff too, and he helps her develop costumes.
But wait, they did do something kind of cool that I think.
So are they tied in Superman in any way, shape, or form?
Yes. Through a character, but this is a big one. Jimmy Olsen.
Okay.
Who?
Jimmy Olsen.
He's black, and I love it.
Well, that.
I don't know who Jimmy Olsen is.
Well,
You don't know who Jimmy Olsen is?
No, I'm not a big.
He was
Superman
the
guy.
photographer that ran around as with Clark with
Lois Lane.
with Lois Lane
Yeah,
and Clark Kent.
Oh,
Kent.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
and
The only
then-
ones I
No,
know
he's
are-
always been a redhead. So I think it's pretty cool because honestly, well, here's the thing.
Well, in alternate
This
universe, he was
Supergirl
black.
just basically tells everybody that she's Supergirl. She's like, hey, Jimmy Olsen, I'm Supergirl. And he's like, I know. Hey, your cousin wanted me to give you this shit. Like, it's in the trailer. You'll see. I'm not giving anything away.
He's like, yeah, Superman wanted you to have this shit.
Yeah.
He sounds like Archer.
That's
He's
what he
always
said.
telling people he's the nicest.
But no, the truth of the matter
and
is,
in an
though-
alternate universe, Jimmy Olsen was black in the comic books.
Was he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I think it's fine. My deal is like, you know how comic people react. I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Does it change anything about the character? No, shut up.
You know how what people react?
Comic book fans.
Oh.
Yeah, I sound. Yeah.
Like,
Oh, did you look at this table before you said that?
You gonna learn today?
We're gonna drag this out real
We
quick.
can rewind that shit. What the fuck do you think I said?
It sounded like yeah.
It's like,
What did I say? The N-word?
No, colored
Oh my god.
people.
Cold deeper.
It's like you said, colored people.
I know.
And we're
That's
all,
even worse.
I'm like, what?
Give myself.
About to say, let me hit pause on
Watch
Twitch.
this.
Nerdgasm is having technical difficulties.
Never say that shit.
I know. That's why I was gonna like, what?
It's a comic book fan.
It's like,
Yeah.
black
Yeah.
motherfuckers be all like.
Yeah, comic book fans, you know, when you change something as simple as the... But oddly enough, though, I think what really tells you that how we've grown as a society is most people didn't know Nick Fury was not originally black like Samuel L. Jackson, right? That's in the alternate... That's in the ultimate...
from him.
Yeah, well, it was, but that was in the ultimate universe, which is a completely different universe of Marvel movies.
Yeah, because
And,
you know who played him before?
oh,
You know it.
I can't remember.
Dude who sung that
Hasselhoff!
Yeah.
Hasselhoff! Hasselhoff played Nick
Captain
Fury
America, right?
back in the day,
Was
yeah.
it Captain America?
I don't remember Captain America.
Or was it
something.
Punisher?
Punisher, I think.
Yes,
Or,
Punisher.
well, I don't know.
I don't remember.
I'm gonna mess that up either way, but Hasselhoff has played Nick
But
Fury.
yeah, traditionally Nick Fury was a white guy, right, with a patch on his arm, which they
Yeah.
kept that part, but and he has it in the alternate universe as well. But I think people, after seeing that, they're like, you know, we can.
No, I think
we can-
most people that saw it were like, good motherfucking choice!
Well, he is pretty cool as.
Yeah,
Nick
he
Fury.
is.
Yeah.
But I think that you can see that it does those little small nuances. Now they can't take a Superman or a Spider-Man and make him black or Mexican or biracial or whatever.
Yeah, they can.
Well, they can, but I don't think it would go well. We've had this conversation before.
I thought it did go well, right?
Well, in the comic book world, it did well.
Oh, you're talking
In
about
the
the movie.
mainstream, I got to pay for a
movie?
movie ticket. I personally don't think it'll go well. I don't know.
No. There's no need to really switch it over yet. Anyway,
Yeah.
like the story and the universe set for these upcoming, like with the blending of the two Marvel owners or whatever, it's not gonna be set where Miles would even be
Miles Morales?
Yeah, would even be in existence. So it'd be weird. It's like they're just forcing it,
Yeah.
which is kind of like what we touched base on last time with comic books. Just everyone, all of a sudden, everyone has to be a gay character and
Yeah.
stuff. It's like now you're just trying too hard.
I
Yeah,
want-
we get it.
I
I've
want
seen that a lot
every
in
comic book
anime.
character to be
Yeah,
gay.
same
Yeah.
here. Like
I think that would be hilarious.
it'd be weird. Like it would just be pointless. Like just like if every comic book character, every movie character were black, that is
I'm
weird too.
just kidding.
So like so right now it's kind of like it's the hot thing. It's
Yeah.
what's in.
This
This is what's
yeah.
happening on the
This
street.
is what's happening in the streets right
Yeah.
now.
But you know
Right
what?
now.
Let's think about popular culture. That's shaped comic books
What?
throughout the years. Popular culture,
Mhm.
like things
Yeah,
like that. That's how it's evolved.
It's a medium
So-
to express.
But I'm saying it's
so
just
people
going
that
on.
have no, I think that people that have an issue with it need to realize that that's how it's evolved all these years.
But I think it's also working.
Civil
the
rights
opposite.
movement was in comic books.
Like
back
at
in the
this
70s.
point now, like since stuff is mainstream, they're going overboard with it. Like it started to be a debate. Like every time a character is introduced
Or
like,
changed.
yeah, they
Like
need to be black.
Captain
They need to be
America,
black. They need
or
to be people
Woman
like
Islamic.
Thor.
yeah. It's like pick
Muslim.
your battles.
But here's
basically.
my
woman.
here's my issue. I don't
Islamic
think
Miss
it
Marvel.
bothers me.
yeah.
That doesn't.
It doesn't. It doesn't bother me, but we
Except
are
the minority.
Yeah, we're a minority in that majority, right? So, yeah, it doesn't bother me, but I don't. Really
Yeah, it doesn't bother me, but it's one of those things where it's like, if it ain't broke, Why fix it? There's no need to change. Like if you
Because
create a new
I think
character,
it's stale.
why would it be stale? I mean, people have grown up with these characters all these
Well, think
years.
about it. They can answer that question real quick for you. Think about it.
Okay.
Think about it. I want to sell more books. I want to
Exactly.
create controversy.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
No, I want to sell more books. I want to create controversy.
Like-
Green Lantern's a gay motherfucker.
Oh, wait. Yeah,
Green Lantern's
wait.
gay.
Let's talk
what?
about-
Green
let's
Lantern's
talk
gay.
about-
It's meta. It's on the. It's
Let's
hashtag
talk
Green
about
Lantern
this.
gay.
Yeah.
This is a character that isn't getting any fucking rotation anyways. They're like, hey, Ant-Man has a fucking movie coming out.
Yeah.
You think, I'm not going to use that example, but let's just use...
Use Aquaman. How can you make him sell?
Hold on a second. Let's use Thor.
You can cast
Thor's
him as
gonna
Drago. And that'll make
Raven's
me see it.
ticket.
Yep.
Yeah,
Just
okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
And like, Aquaman ain't the only thing getting
Yeah,
pushed.
that's Steven. Look, did you watch that first season and not go?
Yes.
Like,
That's
okay,
really good.
ladies and gentlemen, we live in Edmond, Oklahoma, or Oklahoma City or surrounding
Always smell like
cities.
fish.
But I literally watched that first season of Game of Thrones, and
Oh yeah, that's right. You did.
and I was literally like, dude, that just looks like Steven Adams with makeup on.
No.
Who?
The
Drago.
dude's gonna play
Oh.
Aquaman.
Drago.
I'm like, dude, Steven Adams. What's he doing? No. But honestly,
I didn't know of him until Game of Thrones.
I didn't
Like,
He was
that was the first
he was
time
in
I've
a
ever seen.
Conan film. He was
Yeah,
also
Conan.
in that Bullet to the Head movie with Sylvester Stallone.
Oh yeah, but I saw
But
that
hey, you know who his
after.
wife
Oh,
is?
okay.
Lisa Bonet.
Yeah.
That's what I knew who it was.
Oh, yeah.
Lisa Bonet.
I didn't know that.
Lisa Bonet.
He gives
Oh,
her the
she's-
Daenerys
She's
Huxtable.
blind.
Denise
Blind.
Huxtable. Yeah, so he's
And the
lucky.
last movie I ever saw her in was High Fidelity, and she did that version of Peter Frampton's, oh, so good. Sorry.
I forgot our normal. Oh, his new trailer. I was like, how did we even get to
So
that?
okay,
Supergirl.
so back to the thing is like these
Supergirl.
comic book characters, like comic book, creators or whoever's making the decision on that, they're not dumb. What they're doing is they're taking something that's polarizing and it's going to get them press, and they're going to run with it because here's the beautiful thing about comics: even if you don't like it, guess what?
Start a new
Changed.
volume.
New
Kill a
universe.
character. Kill a character and start a volume 4.
That's why I find it like for someone like me who I'm into like manga and stuff like that, Japanese comics. I can't get into
Why you gotta be
our
Japanese
graphic
comics,
because
man?
that's what they are. I can't
Come on,
get into our
You don't
graphic.
like American comics?
Like I can't get into like graphic
Come on.
novels and stuff like that and
Trade
because-
paperbacks.
Yeah, because I have no idea where to start because there's so many different universes.
That's
and
it's daunting.
balance.
for
It
someone
can
who
be something
hasn't grown up with this to kind of even know a base of what's going on.
Yeah.
I can't jump in, and so at this point, I'm just like.
It can be
Whereas
very
with like a manga, like One Piece has like 800 or something manga chapters, but I could start it and still know like, oh, this is still the One Piece universe. It's not One Piece and a half. Like it. So
You're basically
alternate
using,
universe
you're
with it
using
all.
the soap opera, excuse.
Well, you could be
Where
be
it
soap
doesn't
opera
matter
versus
what you-
telenovela.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. No, not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Most people that watch soap operas that come in and out of it, they're a safety blanket in the fact that they can just kind of come in and immediately know what's going on if you watched it before. Is that what you're saying? I get that.
I'm just like I'm saying that like if you're marathoning like a show, like I could go back and start at episode 1 and know that I'm going to continue the same show. It's not going to get to episode 43 and all of a sudden it's like episode 43.1 and it's like a new line. I'm like, wait, does this continue it? And then it's like episode 53.B and I'm like, wait, there's another branch off? That's how comics are. You started out this.
That's why I felt
and then
about
we need
Dragon
more money.
Ball. I
And
was
so it's
like-
like blah, 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 blah.
think
But
they're
it's
doing
still,
it.
it's
No,
a
I get it.
chronological order though with
Yeah.
Dragon Ball. It's like Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z,
Naruto.
Dragon Ball GT, and then Dragon Ball Super. I think it's this new one. It's not Dragon Ball GT 0.8 and a half.
I get what you're saying.
More Dragon Ball.
I get what you're saying. You've got to invest some, and you got to think about it too. The manga medium, and I don't know when it started, but it hasn't been around for 30, 40, 50, 60 years. Right? You don't have as
manga?
I think so.
Has
Like
it?
the way
I'm
it
gonna
is
look it up.
now, or
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Has it been
I'm
around
looking it
that
up right
long?
now.
like I guarantee you that like Astro Boy had cereals and stuff.
Yeah, okay. Well, but their cereals were different than ours. Their cereals were in their weekly Shonen Jump.
Oh, they're saying cereal like that you eat.
Still,
yeah.
I was like,
okay.
ooh.
I mean, you might manga
I was
like
getting
comics
hungry.
now.
Yeah.
I don't know when that started. Oh, by the way, I'm just going to answer a really quick question given to us by one of our viewers, Olivia. She asked why we moved the table here. It's so we can actually get a good shot of us to Twitch this and stuff. Yeah, look at this face. We need this. We need this punum. We need this punum up here to sell some subscribers, I guess. So yeah, we had to move the table just so we can get everybody, together and we can Twitch this shit. So that's it.
Twitch.
So yeah. So in the current state of its medium, how long has it been around?
I'm using the greatest news source,
Wikipedia,
It's
the
like-
free encyclopedia.
Yeah, it says in 1905.
In your face, sucker.
I said in its current medium though,
Yeah,
because comic books haven't changed. They've always been in a monthly iteration of itself.
I'm not going to be able to find exactly. It just says, well,
Because you could technically say Nintendo's been around since what, 1903 when they started making the little Hayadufu cards.
They even had a taxi service at one point.
1945
Yeah,
to 1950.
modern manga originated in
Manga?
manga.
You sounded like you were from like New York.
Manga
So, are you
originated.
watching manga tonight? You mean reading? What the fuck are you talking about? Manga.
1945, I think I would go
So
with the.
kind of the same.
Because I think they kind of went hand in, like they sparked each other in a way, like kind of like the nuclear race or
Maybe.
space race and stuff like that. They kind of.
I don't know. I just wondered because I don't read manga obviously, but I wondered if it had been done kind of the same way as comic books had been over the years. Because obviously you got a serial every week or every month. You got an issue coming out since. Gosh, well, shucks. Spider-Man just hit 700 3 years ago, and it's still going. 700 issues, right? You can only do 24 issues in a year,
I mean,
right?
Berserk's
And then an
going-
annual, so 13.
Like
So.
Berserk, I think it's been going over for 12 years or so
Mhm.
now.
Really?
No, it has to be more than that because Naruto it's like
10.
Yeah.
Naruto was at 10 or 11.
10. So yeah, Berserk has to be 17, 18, I think.
It's crazy. So yeah. But like to your point, I was actually agreeing with you, not
I
to combat with you. But you still have that one continual storyline, even in a Naruto that's gone for 10 years, right? Whereas Spider-Man has been Doc Ock Spider-Man. He's been regular Peter Parker Spider-Man.
Said all the
He's
arms come out.
Yeah, he's been 8-arm Spider-Man.
And his
whatever.
lineage has taken over Spider-Girl.
Yeah, so he said other offshoots. So it is kind of daunting to go in and like, you know what, I'm going to start reading Spider-Man. Actually, wait, do I want to read Spider-Man? Or do I want to read Amazing Spider-Man? Or do I want to read Superior Spider-Man? Or do I want to read Peter Parker's Spectacular Spider-Man?
Yeah,
but if I want to see Dazzler or Cloak and Dagger first appearance, I got to read Spectacular Spider-Man, Peter Parker's Spectacular
Which I think that's why, like, the
So it is daunting.
not the one-shoots, but, like, the really popular comic books right now, like Walking Dead and stuff like that, those Fables, those type of, like, one-shoots where that it's not going to deviate from the story and it's one shot, and you still have multiple, like, like a lot, like over 100, like, issues.
Mm-hmm.
So you either buy the trade paperbacks to kind of get
Or the
caught up.
compendiums.
So it's one of those things where like the art form or the trade paperbacks of like comic book, like big comic books, like
That's why they do the
Red
volumes,
Sun,
right?
like those, like
That's a good one.
or
I'm surprised that you know
Killing
that.
Joke, like those big ones, or Batman, the Dark Knight. I'm sorry, like those,
Frank
like
Miller,
those
yeah.
are really really big,
And that's why they put them in those.
Sure, that's what I'm saying.
If you're thinking of like Batman Hush, right? It's 8 issues.
Yeah, so Batman.
It's like, the Joker's like,
It's 8 issues, right? Put into 2 volumes because they understand that is an amazing point in the Batman series. We understand that you might just want to read this. We're going to put this in a volume for you to read. You might not know what the shit happened before or what happens after, but we're going to put this together for you because it's one of the best story arcs in the series. Yeah, but I will definitely admit that comic book reading and so forth is daunting.
well,
And the only reason why I don't
expensive.
read manga is it's black and white. Can't do that, and I can't do the backwards readings.
That is.
I've
a bit
actually,
strange.
like, it's weird. I've been doing the manga so long that now when I pick up, like, if I look at a regular comic book or book, I'll have to catch him. I'm like, why does this not make any logical? Oh,
like why is the main character?
I do that. Like even
at the beginning of this book,
like someone posted I saw like for comic book. Some comic book deal retweeted a picture of like a clip from like Superman Abomination. Is that the one? Like who?
DC.
No, I mean who did they clone? Like make a clone out of like Superman or something made. I don't know.
Last Son of Krypton.
It was something like some big look.
Did he have that backward S and look all
he
purple
just
and
looked almost like he was like gray, rockish, like bone.
Yeah, that's Bizarro.
Okay, like it was like a picture of him punching Supergirl in the face, and it was like her face is just turned into like mush. And it was like a picture of that.
And he is basically the same thing, but everything's backwards.
But I was like reading it. I was like, oh. And so I was sitting there reading it and stuff. I was like, this doesn't make any sense how we got to this. And I like kept looking at it for a second. And I was like, oh, I need to start up here and then go down. And then Berserk though, how I was saying is like 17 years. It's 26.
Wow.
If I did my math right, it was originally ran in 1989 and it's still ongoing.
They're the Charles Dickens of the manga world. And now a lot of people probably don't get that reference. Charles Dickens got paid by the word, so when he wrote like a Christmas Carol. Yeah, sorry, I had to think about that for a second. Like, he padded the fucking shit out of that because it was in a magazine, so he got paid by the word, so that's what became a Christmas Carol. So anyways.
Well, since we're talking about comics so much already, I'm going to go ahead and go into our new Archie comics. So what we're talking about.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'll take that one. So Archie's been around for a long time. You want to look that one up too?
Okay.
Archie's been around for a long time.
What's Archie?
Yeah.
Hey, Kevin Smith. Yeah, no, just kidding.
But Archie has really, Archie was in the back of the newspapers for a little while, and then it became the little digest book. It's evolved over on, Riverdale, Betty and Veronica, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. All of these kind of shows that we grew up with came from the Archie comic books, right? Actually, yeah, Sabrina the Teenage Witch was from Archie. And Archie it was very much the G-rated comic book. It was like your Snoopy. But it was for you that you could read it and not feel bad about it. You weren't going to see anything crazy in it. It was your Donnie and Marie kind of comic.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So it was very much family friendly. And
literally, here's a premise of the comic book. Archie just wants to take was it Betty?
Betty and Veronica.
Betty and Veronica out on a date, and hilarity.
They're going to go to the malt shop and have a burger.
Yeah.
Right? It took place most of the time in the 50s,
just
60s.
wanted to eat a lot and have
And
talks.
you had Jughead, who was just your doofus, and he wanted to eat, and he had his dog, and so forth and so on. Well, over the past 2 or 3 years...
Scooby-Doo ripped them off.
Pretty much. Over the last three or 4 years, they have started to go kind of a different direction. So they kind of left the...
Tell me Archie went hard. Did you join a gang?
Different. They left, and I'm drawing a blank on who their original publisher was, but they left their original publisher and went over with Dark Horse.
So, they went to Dark Horse?
Yeah, Dark Horse has them now in the comic book form. And so you've got these new iterations of this classic, homegrown, family-friendly comic book. Now, the first big one that came out was Afterlife with Archie. And the premise of Afterlife with Archie is, Jughead's dog, which I'm drawing a blank on the damn dog's name right now. Help me out here.
I think...
Anyway, Jughead's dog gets hit.
Oh, shit.
Gets run over. And so Jughead runs over to Sabrina, who was the teenage witch, right?
To resurrect his ass?
To get the dog resurrected, right? And Jughead's dog, which I still can't remember, gets resurrected, and but when he comes back, he's a little demon dog, like Pet fucking Cemetery dog. Right? And he bites Jughead, and Jughead gets sick on Halloween, and he's supposed to go to the Riverdale Halloween party, and he gets sick, he turns into a zombie and starts a zombie apocalypse in Riverdale, and it spreads out. So that was the first new Archie, right? Amazing book. Try to find it in first print.
No, what I'm saying, this is it's a continuation of this for the next episodes, or that was just a one-off?
That was no. That was the new series. That's the new kind of way that Archie is going.
Walking
now,
Archie.
They still make the old Archies as well, but this is the new direction in that Archie.
They still make Casper?
So maybe. Oh, they do for the kids books. They make. There's a line of kids comics as well. But so you've got Zombie Apocalypse, Archie.
I think this would sell.
Afterlife with Archie. It's amazing. It's great. The artist that does it is just really, really good. And they've got it in trade paperbacks now, so it's easier to read, not so hard to find. Trying to find it in first printing, good luck with that. And then off of that, you have Sabrina, who is a teenage witch, so she has her own story. Now, then she's got her own little story that's going off of that with her and her witchcraft and so forth and so on. And then off from that, in a 4-issue short run. So a lot of these are done in like 10 to 15 issues. They're not very big, so you don't have to invest a lot of time and money into them because they cost about $4 each book. But now in a 4-part series, which is the one that I'm
is that what costs these days?
$2.99 to $4.99, and then the other ones even get more expensive. Just depends.
It was like $1.
Not anymore. Image First will give you $1.
Okay.
But now Archie has a four issue run, and it's Predator versus Archie.
Get the fuck out of here!
So,
Predator versus you brought one?
So yeah. So just in case, if you
go up to the camera like
this
actually.
One? This one.
No. Well, that one.
That looks good.
That one. Well, hold it for a second and make sure that you can see.
Yeah.
Now hold it to the
That's
top
awesome.
one again.
Poor Archie.
Oh shit! That's Jughead.
Yeah, it's Jughead.
Oh, is he
So-
the zombie Jughead?
Well, it's Deadhead. It's dead. So, and that's pretty freaking awesome.
Oh, fuck that! This up is brilliant.
I love
So-
that burger
Oh,
down there.
Yeah, the burger.
So,
Toast.
yeah, sure. So it's really kind of cool to see these kind of new iterations of the classic comics, and this is selling like hotcakes. It's really selling like hotcakes. So it's going to be neat. It's a monthly series. It's only going to go for four issues, and then they may do something else after that. They've had a couple other ones too that I can't really remember off the top of my head, but I like Archie. My mom got me into my comic books. She read Archie. She shared Archie with me, so I kind of grew up with Archie and Casper and Wendy. And so
I saw
seeing
some
this
of the
is kind of fun.
Archer cartoons. Like
Uh-huh.
I saw a little bit of that. Like that's the only reason I really know about Archie because
Because Archer?
No, Archie.
The Saturday morning cartoon?
Yeah,
Okay.
like some of those. I saw those. So that's the main reason I know about them.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, that's about all. I haven't read any of the comics or anything like that. But
I've got the trade paperback of the first volume of Afterlife with Archie that you can read anytime. I'm a big fan. I like them. I really like them. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, you sold me on that. That sounds like that's an amazing way to start it, too. You know, you think it's going to be all happy, then the dog gets hit, he's a demon, Jughead's a zombie, the apocalypse. Zombie apocalypse, anything, though, is going to be fantastic.
And, you know, and like,
I think we should all get the trade paperback at this point.
like you guys said, it's a barometer or a zeitgeist of the times, right?
Yeah.
Zombies are what's hot in the streets right now.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody's jumping on that bandwagon.
Yeah.
So, you know, it just is what it is. So.
I mean, after, Walking Dead, it's kind of hard to top that, but this might actually do it.
I don't know if it'll top it, but it'll definitely, it fills a void. Right?
It'll
It
make
gives-
me,
it
it
gives
made
you a
me
little-
laugh, just the
And
title.
it's neat. It really is fun. You sit there and you read it and you're like, I don't laugh out loud at books too often, but Afterlife with Archie and Archie versus Predator is pretty
This
fun.
was $4 back. Wow.
$4
Comics
last
have gotten-
week.
comics
That's
have gotten
neat.
expensive.
So that came out last week.
All right, so what's our next topic? We're running along.
It's crowdsourcing for prominent developers.
Okay.
You know, I think when we say crowdsourcing, we're talking about Kickstarter, right? Of
course.
Because I'd never really heard that
There's
term.
also-
Crowdsourcing is basically anything that
Where you get other
the
people to throw
crowd
the money for you?
funds.
Yes.
The fans to pay for it for you?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, it's funny because these people already have a name that allows them to develop, right? That's how they made their money. You know, you got this Castlevania guy. We posted it on Nerdgasm. This Castlevania guy is left Konami, right?
Yes.
And he's starting on his own, and he's got this idea without the constraints of what the
hierarchy told him
bureaucracy,
to do.
you're right? The bureaucracy of working for Konami. So now he can make his own game, but yet he can't make it to the caliber that he used to because he doesn't have all of the as cheaply as he did before, because he doesn't have all the tools, or he could just recreate sprites and so forth and so on. So he's asking for money for help you make his game on his popularity of making his Castlevania games, which he doesn't have
From the ground up, but he's got some backup.
yeah, and
which is nice.
I looked at it; it looks great.
Yeah,
Like,
it did look
I'm a
pretty
big
cool.
Castlevania fan. All of this Konami talk has made me go back and kind of look. I was actually looking for Symphony of the Night.
Great game.
Because apparently I've never played it.
Oh, you
And-
never played it, Derek? Wait.
Oh, no.
You can talk passionately about that. Tell the audience what you think about Symphony of the Night.
Well, it's been quite some time since I've played. It feels like another lifetime ago. But what made it amazing, and I had played every Castlevania up until that point, and I think the second one, Simon's Quest, it had RPG elements, but Symphony of the Night really helped introduce them. I mean, you had access to a plethora of weapons and armor. The soundtrack was amazing. I think this was the first one to have voiceover work, too, with Dracula.
What is a mad?
With a miserable little pile of secrets. With Arnold there for a second. But it was incredible. And, I mean, it had tons of replay value, and it kind of adopted that type of Metroid feel where you...
Metroidvania.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
That's what it's called, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's the term, yeah.
That's really cool. But no, yeah, you find all these upgrades and you can go back throughout the castle and whatnot and find different secrets. It was just an incredibly well done game, and I don't think I ever really heard any complaints about it.
And then when you get to the end, this isn't really a spoiler, but the castle
flip.
If but you don't have to get that.
Not played it at this point.
Yeah.
Well, you guys.
It doesn't matter. The castle flips and you have to play it all the way through behind.
Well, you don't have to.
Reverse.
You could technically play that game.
Stop.
You could technically beat that game and never know that the castle flipped if you didn't do all the elements to get there.
No.
Yeah, because I found that out. Just
I didn't
kind
know
of
mine
researching
flipped.
and going.
Also,
because you did what the elements were to get there.
Yeah.
If you didn't do it, you could play 100% of the game because that game actually has a 200% completion rate.
Yeah.
So if you were to 200% it, that's when you actually.
And everything is flipped. Things are different, and bosses are hard.
So yeah, like if you don't.
It's not. But it's not
is
like
it Dracula that you fight at the end of that game. Symphony of the Night. Is it Dracula?
No, I don't think it's Dracula.
Because there's two bosses, and if you fight one boss, then you're not with the right.
All I remember is like it's not like
it's
not like when you beat like Mario and they're like or Zelda, it's like another adventure awaits you. It literally just from the get go flips it and starts you back.
Yeah.
So you're just like.
Do you get to New Game Plus it and carry your armaments over? Or
Yeah, you keep everything.
Start with everything.
If I remember correctly, it didn't like give you this is the end.
Mm-hmm.
It just flipped it and started you just kept going.
Yeah.
So you didn't even know.
It gave you the finger.
It's like what the hell happened? Like,
Dracula hits you in the ass a little bit. Take this. And then,
so that think about it. As a developer, you created a level that you had to think about would be flipped upside down at some point. Every like screen.
I will never argue that the guy is amazing. I can't pronounce his name, but he's amazing.
Not all him, but
Koji Igarashi.
Okay.
And he's already met 300 and what is it?
300 some odd thousand.
Yeah, or 300 and something
percent
of his goal.
His goal
he
was
already
200.
did.
Yeah,
His goal
right
was
now he's at
200,000.
$1,965,943.
So what do you think if Kojima decides to do that, and he
Oh,
does it
Kojima,
specifically
yeah.
for like Silent Hills? Oh, here's the thing: the people that are bitching like they did a petition and I signed it for Silent Hills to happen. I was thinking about it. I was like, nothing about that fucking demo screams Silent Hills. You said, hey, yo,
They could take that and give it a new brand.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yo, Guillermo del Toro. You know me. Let's go and say fuck Konami and make our own shit completely different. Because I didn't even necessarily. We don't even have to stick to the conventions of Silent Hill. We can do something fucked up. You and me will crowdsource this shit. Fuck.
All right. It's still going. Keep on.
Oh, we'll crowdsource this shit, and then we'll do that. That's what I wish they do. Because did you not agree that like PT was the first game in a long time that literally made you go, ugh.
Yeah, that game
Yeah, it
scares
was
the
weird.
shit out of me.
It was weird.
But Silent Hills
But I don't play
normally
action
are,
horror,
though.
I don't play horror games.
Silent Hills have they've decreased in scariness by 100%.
Well, is
every
that
game
because
we've done.
they've decreased or we've become desensitized?
No,
Probably
because
both.
Well, no, they have
Team
changed.
Silent left.
Oh.
Team Silent left after or right before 4 or after 4, and it's just kind of went to some. We'll talk about this.
Well, they
later.
went
It's
for the
good.
jump scares and whatnot. What made the first two Silent Hills so
The
scary?
unknown.
The original, it was the atmosphere. You never knew what was coming. It was foggy, the crazy sounds, and the soundtrack. And then they kind of got away from that.
So I think if Guillermo del Toro and Kojima come together for just something, You could just say, hey, we're going to do something, fund it. Like, I'll put money towards it.
You know, and I think
not to watch Ashley play.
And I think the whole crowdsourcing thing, I think it works, you know, because you're tapping into like I'll use the only one that I really can speak to is the ukulele, Yuka and Lele, from the same developers of Rare, what used to be Rare. What are they called now? Plan something, whomever. But they said, you know what, we love making Banjo-Kazooie for Rare, and now we're going to make a game that's pretty much Banjo-Kazooie with a bat and a chameleon, right? And
sign me up.
And everybody said, you know what? Yes, take our money. And
they did.
Yeah, within a week, it was already past $1 million. It was the fastest growing game to reach $1 million ever.
You know what happened?
History.
Well, Rare has a history. Like they could do that with almost all of their titles.
Yeah,
if they said, hey, we're going to make a Conquer
for
sequel.
The Xbox 360.
If we're going to make a Conquer sequel,
Perfect Dark.
Oh yeah,
that's true.
I still don't think.
No, that's not
fair.
That's not fair. That was a big leap from like the 64 to the 360, and it was a launch title and it sucked.
Man, it was not.
But if Rare said, hey, we're going to make another Conquers,
yeah,
dude, it would have been funded in a second.
Yeah, look what happened for Leisure Suit Larry. For the PlayStation 2 and Xbox 360.
That wasn't crowdsourced though.
No, it wasn't. But I'm just saying the people they were like.
I tried to play.
That was real development. And did you ever play the original?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was boring.
Libid Lubbers.
Yeah,
it was boring.
Lubbers.
You just played it to see.
Does anybody get that? Libid Lubbers.
No.
No Leisure Suit Larry fans here.
Nope.
You had to get the Libid Lubbers to move on.
The ukulele game. Yeah, their initial goal was 270,000, and they're at 270,000 was their initial goal.
Yeah.
And they're at $2,452,770.
And how many more days they have?
32 days.
Yeah.
You know, Banjo-Kazooie was like one of the most amazing platformers to come out
Never played
for
it.
that. What?
For the N64, yeah, it was a great game.
It was a great game. And you can buy it now on the.
Was it on the digital store?
It was.
No, it couldn't be because Rare doesn't have. Oh yeah, maybe it does.
It's on the Xbox though.
Oh,
but
okay.
I think it's a remastered version.
You can get it's pretty good.
No, it's $35 gives you a great reward.
Like 20 if you just want the digital copy of the game. Like if someone don't need the physical disc, $24.
Yeah, 35 is the sweet spot, I think, right?
Let's see.
Is it 30, 38 or something like that? 32?
32 gives you Steam and console digital game plus a PC toy box.
There you go.
And then since y'all like actual
physical copies,
let's see.
For now. We're kind of dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Let's see which one
People are like, I'll take a digital.
I'm like,
yeah, no, I need it.
In fact,
I hate that the instruction books have vanished.
In fact, I just read something recently that Konami started pulling their licenses.
Yeah, see that didn't.
And I'm like, I pay full price for that.
Yeah, and I just don't like the digital copy. Maybe for the digital copy, if I could have more storage space on these systems you sell me.
No doubt.
So.
Constantly deleting stuff. You're just gonna give me high five anyways.
Yeah.
High five in spirit.
I don't think that they I'm trying to find the actual
physical copy. Oh, they do.
Yeah,
what are you
like
talking about?
I'm trying to find where it's how far down it is, how expensive it is.
It was only
they
may have taken it off. They may have taken it off because it was there last week.
I know it says PC Box Deluxe Edition physical game is $110. And that's for the PC digital.
So much for Mr. Rose.
Next year.
There has to be another digital.
I'm surprised he even came back this year. I thought he was actually done.
I did too. Oh, my dad called me.
All right.
He's telling me about the game.
Next topic then, because we basically know that these developers, if they have enough followers or fan base, then they can go to this and people, if the game sounds,
or if they touch on a genre that will come back.
And something, nostalgia factor, then they'll get people to back it.
So I'm hoping that they do. Well, I'm hoping that'll never happen, but it would be nice to see some rhythm games come back. But I think the home rhythm game era has gone away.
Besides the fact that this is actually a great segue.
You mean like Dance Dance
like
Revolution?
Dance Dance Revolution.
Okay. Oh, because Activision is bringing back Guitar Hero.
But they've not really gone away. You've got the dance games for when you're using
Arcade.
the Kinect or whatnot.
But Activision is still
Activision
is still bringing it back.
That's true.
Yeah.
And they were pretty popular. They were massively popular.
But
I learned some good moves from those because I can't dance.
Well, no, this is a good
But I
segue for our
loved
next
the-
one, which is I
the
think
Dance
it's
Dance.
TH,
That
right?
was my favorite thing.
So here's a great segue.
So I guess you're right. They haven't
So
gone away.
Activision
They're
is
just
bringing
taking
back-
a new form.
Yeah.
True. Activision is bringing back
But I did like
Guitar Hero.
Ugh.
Okay, it's fine. Which segues into our next thing, that Activision is bringing back Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5.
Oh.
Yay.
You know, I only played one Tony Hawk game,
Okay.
and it was Underground. I think it was Underground.
I like
I liked Underground. But what I liked, and I hope they bring them back, was BMX Triple X. That was my shit.
I don't know, was that Activision?
Yeah, it was the same people that made Dave Mirra. Wasn't that whole genre? Dave Mirra.
No.
I can't remember.
I never
Because
played any
Activision
of
did,
those games. but I like
Activision
playing
did
games.
Oklahoma's own Matty Hoffman's Pro
Yeah.
BMX.
And I thought that was the shell for
I don't
BMX
think
Triple
so.
X. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know.
So, anyways, so
Yeah.
Tony Hawk, I'm a big Tony Hawk fan, and we really got to stop that this for too long, so we can't really touch too much on it. Honestly, if you're a Tony Hawk fan, you probably were kind of you were really mad about Ride, and maybe you were mad about the last Proving Grounds and Project 8. They weren't that great. This is
Right.
going back to Tony Hawk old school roots, where it's just you're bored, you don't get off, there's really no story, you just complete tasks, which I'm totally for, and I'm really excited to see what pro skaters they have. I've been kind of out of the game for a while, I don't really know, who's really that big anymore. I got my favorites, like Costin and, like Rodriguez and Janowski now. So it's kind of going to be interesting to see, what's happened since I've been away. So I'm a big Tony Hawk fan. I'm pretty pumped about it. Beyond that, don't know if you guys even give a shit.
I mean, it'd be nice to see it, but I used to be a big fan of the games and used to play all of them. So it's kind of nice to see it come back, but I kind of already dropped out of the whole skateboarding game genre anyway. So hopefully if this is good, it'll at least bring me back into it. Can't remember the last one that was released, but like where
It
you
was
can actually
called Ride 2.
Where you could use the ones before they did the
Proving Ground.
like the one where you can use your joysticks to flip the board.
Proving
and do your
Ground,
trick.
but it was the first one to do that was Project 8. I have them all. I have every single Tony Hawk game. Huge fan. Not a good thing necessarily. They kind of went downhill. Underground 2 kind of killed it.
I think Skate is what ended up taking over.
Yeah, for a while. And they
least.
did what? Did they do up to 3 or 2?
I think 2. They might have done a 3. I didn't keep up with them.
That wasn't my game.
Because
I don't want to frustrate. I don't want to frustrate. I want to play. I want to have a good time. I want to be able to grind by just hitting triangle.
All right. So, do y'all have anything else? Shut up.
I don't think we have anything else.
That wasn't even perverted.
Well, he said grind, and I just thought about. I don't see nothing wrong.
Bump and grind.
I don't know why.
I want to bust on you. Yes, dude.
Okay, so
No.
So this has been it. We're done.
Yeah.
We're free. Free.
All right, before we go, though, we would also like to touch base on TokyoTreat.com. They sent us a box for us to review, which we did put up those videos last week, and so we just want to give them a shout out. If you're into Japanese snacks, you like goodies, treats, and candies, well, you can head over to TokyoTreat.com, and they do have 3 different subscription tiers for you, and they ship you a mystery box straight from Japan, free shipping, no contracts for the service, and it shows up at your doorstep the next month and full of full-size Japanese snacks and treats, and depending on which one you go with, you can even get like a special premium item too. And right now, if you use the coupon code Nerdgasm, which is NERDGASM, you can get 20% off your first month of subscription, and it works on all their different tiers. So head over to TokyoTreat.com and sign up for some service and use that coupon code.
And watch our review.
Pretty awesome.
You can watch us eat some of the stuff.
And also do an unboxing so you can see what comes in the boxes too. Alright, anyone have anything else?
I think we're good.
Nope.
Alright, so this has been another episode of the Nerdgasm Channel Podcast. Please like and share the podcast with your friends. It helps us out tremendously. Share the Nerdgasm family with your friends, people, coworkers, that dude down the street that you don't know, but he stares at you.
YouTube, Twitter, Facebook.
Yes.
We got it all.
Also, check us out on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. The links to all those will be available in the podcast description below. Don't forget to give us suggestions for topics you would like for us to discuss. We love to hear from the Nerdgasm community. Until next time, I'm Willie. AKA Unofficial Ninja.
I'm Noob.
Alright, let's go ahead and do that again.
Alright.
I don't have to edit the YouTube version, but I can edit our regular one. Alright.
Looked at me.
This has been another episode of Nerdgasm Channel Podcast. Please like and share the podcast. Help spread the word of Nerdgasm Channel. Also check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. The links will be available in the podcast description. Don't forget to give us suggestions of topics you would like for us to discuss. We love to hear from our community. Until next time, I'm Willie, a.k.a. Unofficial Ninja.
I'm Derek, Nerdy Ninja.
Zach, Romeo 313.
Jules, Fade Alexander.
Until next time, see ya.
Bye, guys.
Peace.
Jazz hands.